Okay, so we're back into Oblivion. Two things. Last time, you may have seen me wandering around picking up plants and shit. So the reason why... I didn't do a good job of kind of explaining what I was doing. I was too busy laughing at just an RPG. But what I was doing outside Skingrad is I was specifically trying to get the flax. Is this the right guy? I don't think it is. I was specifically trying to get flax because it is Restore Magicka. And then I need the blue mushrooms. The thing I was not doing that I should have been was... basically, you can just get food, and all of them are going to have Restore Fatigue. And so you just pick up food everywhere and spam it for alchemy. And you have to do alchemy as Atronach, because it's the easiest way to get your mana back. Am I enjoying Oblivion Remastered? So, yeah, I'm kind of surprised that they did not include the official Oblivion patch changes. There's a lot of stuff that fixes, especially with the quest design, as far as bugs and things. But there's some stuff they did fix. Like I'd say like a third of the stuff that the unofficial fixes, this fixes. And then a third of it doesn't. Alright, I'm going to leave this dungeon. And a third of it doesn't. You'd think that they would have just gone for that. I think that the leveling change is good. That was always the biggest barrier. The problem, the original Oblivion, the level scaling is broken. In more ways than one. And by that I mean, unless you play optimally, around level 7 or 8, you will not have enough health. Enemies will have gained so much health and you gain so little that it's very... Oh, we're crashing? I think we are. Oh, nope, we're not. That the fights kind of become impossible. Now, the way this fixes that is it lets you it basically does a point buy system, which is what the preferred mod that I used did it, where you can put them in any attribute you want. Meaning you can take 5 endurance every level, which you probably should be doing as any class. But what it did not do was it did not actually fix the scaling of the enemies themselves. So, like the curve, the health curve, I'm pretty sure they didn't fix that. Now, luckily, most of the mods you need to fix these issues are just ESP files, so you can just download them and put them even on this, even though this doesn't technically support modding. Anything that requires a plugin that was a mega fail on my part, sorry. Anything that's like a plugin, it doesn't work yet. I don't know why I'm running around a fighting wolf anyway. I'm going to do what I said I was going to do, which is getting a bunch of food and crafting potions. Because basically, the only thing I did efficiently when I played this Monday was my character creation. Breton Atronach mage is a pretty meta, but I mean, I was ensorcelled by just an RPG. That's why and his music. That's why I was messing around. All right, so here you'll catch on really quick what I'm going to be doing here.
Why I'm may I interest you in some of my fine wares?
So we don't need to buy these grapes because they're outside for free. Do you really not just have food? Oh no, that's my inventory. I'm such an idiot. I always get that mixed up on this game. So what is the cheapest food you have? I guess they're all 2. You want stuff with Restore Fatigue. That's all you got. Okay. And we're going to combine that with all the grapes we picked up. We're going to make a bazillion Restore Fatigue potions. It's going to level up our alchemy so that we can make more efficient Restore Magicka ones. And it'll get us money. I showed you the marginal value joke I made last time, where I would just sign up for the Mages Guild, steal all their appropriate all their shit. I would mutual aid all their shit, and then sell it back to them. But this is really the money hack. It's just doing these Restore Fatigue potions, because once you get good enough at alchemy, you can make them for almost nothing, and they have 150 gold value. It's kind of wild. And I normally wouldn't go through this kind of grinding for streaming a game like this, but it's you have to do it with Atronach. You have to get your your alchemy up to restore your magicka. That's also why I didn't pick it as a major skill, because it's easy to level, so you don't really need it. Generally, now that they fixed the leveling, so you don't have to do any freaking kung fu about picking skills that don't level too fast. You generally want to pick stuff for major skills that you actually need the high skill level in. So, like, the big one is spells, right? So I picked mostly Schools of Magic, and the reason why is because you need to have a certain skill level to cast spells, certain spells. So the number actually matters. And so if you want to have that at the start, you got to pick them. The other thing is, I spent all last stream trying to find the Flame Atronach, which was the whole point of this, like, the gimmick, right? And I kept saying over and over again, I remember it being in Coral, I remember it being in Coral, I remember it being in Coral, and I kept going back there. I wasted all this fucking time. And so I looked it up, and it is. I was right. I just blind, I guess, and didn't see it. Got a very engorged load screen. As far as how the remaster looks, I know a lot of people have, like, nostalgia about the original Oblivion. You think I would too, because I did play it, like, on release. I don't think literally on release. I think I played it maybe a couple months later, because I had an Xbox 360. But I just don't really feel that much nostalgia for the visual, so I'm fine with them upgrading them. The problem is with Unreal 5, honestly. You get shit like this, where it's not loading, and it just runs poorly. It is kind of crazy that a game like this, it requires the system specs it does, and this computer isn't great. Well, I mean, it's good. This computer's fine. Like, this should be able to run this game. It's not the computer's fault. It's the engine. I think that the reason why that is because back when in gaming there was actual competitive consoles, and by that I mean, like, console sales mattered. People, like, consoles did well, right? It creates a technical standard that developers can plan around, and technical limitations. Basically, what I mean by that is, if you're beholden to console limitations, it makes you be more, it makes you wiser with your resources. And I think that's why a lot of the really good engines that have kind of stood the time have come from, I'm going to restart the game, have come from periods where consoles were doing well. So, like, for example, Unreal 3, which is the engine that Gears of War runs on, looks good. Like, it holds up. If you've ever played Gears of War 3, that game looks really good from when it came out. It runs well. It's very resource efficient. And it's very flexible. It's got a lot of good tools that people use. But now you have a time when PC games, where consoles are kind of in a rut. And, you know, normally I would be okay with it. I've never... Basically, the last console I really played was the 360. I've been on PC pretty much since. But the problem with consoles is, you know, like now, you're at a period where it's a bad value proposition. You're paying a lot with a lot of limitations for something that is not as good as, like, a marginally more expensive PC. Where did it send us back to? So yeah, you have a period now where consoles are not competing very well. It's a bad value judgment. Sales are down. I mean, you have Xbox literally talking about leaving the console market. And so engines seem to be made primarily with PC in mind now, which means that there's a lot less standardization and there's a lot less restraint about resources. And so then you have Unreal Engine 5, which is like the mirror image to Unreal Engine 3. Unreal Engine 3, very efficient, stands up very well, good tools, simple implementation. Unreal Engine 5, I guess it looks good. You could say, like, I'm not going to say it doesn't look good, but it runs like complete shit. The tools it uses are kind of half-baked, like the software RTX. And it's difficult to use unless you're, it's your job, basically. It's like hard for modders and stuff. Okay, so we're picking grapes here because these are all restore fatigue. And we're going to get, like, as many of these as we can. And then we're going to have to find another restore fatigue. There should be another farm around here. And we're going to loot that. And then we're probably going to make like 20 potions. It's going to make as many as we possibly can. And that will level our alchemy up. And I'm going to try to do this as quick as possible because it's not that entertaining. Well, I'll just go to the... I'll just do some mutual aid and get the... I think there's a farm over here. And get the alchemy shit from the Mages Guild once I have enough fatigue stuff. You know, I was reading people. Sometimes I look at PC Gamer because it's like brainlet central. Like the people writing on the writing staff on that is really, it's really gone down. And I think the reason why is there's a downward and upward pressure on journalism right now. The downward pressure is that if you're actually a good like writer or journalist, there's no reason to go work for a publication. You can just publish your own shit. So it's like, you know, why? And then the downward pressure is that because of kind of the politics involved, there's a selection bias of people getting the degree, is what I mean. And so then you have gaming journalism, which is like the bottom of an already kind of compromised industry. There we go. This is just as I predicted. And so anyway, PC Gamer wrote an article basically saying that they were suggesting that they should have re-recorded the soundtrack for this game. Because Jeremy Soule, the composer, had allegations, you know, sexual-related allegations back in like 2018, I think. And it's just so ridiculous to me that how out of touch you'd have to be to suggest that for this game, considering that, you know, I talked about it earlier, people are nostalgic for the way this game looks. Okay, however nostalgic they are for the game works, they're 1,000 times that for the soundtrack. I mean, I've always kind of dogged on Oblivion because I think it's the redhead stepchild between the design philosophy of Skyrim and Morrowind, but the soundtrack is probably the best soundtrack of all the... I don't know, Skyrim's is good too. They're all good, and it's because Jeremy Soule's a good composer. So, like, the idea that you'd suggest that because you want to make this part of like a pissing match, that they should have removed the soundtrack is absurd. I don't think it needs to be re-recorded either. You know, this isn't like it's a full orchestra, you know? I don't think you're gonna get it better. Okay, so we have a zillion tomatoes, we have a zillion grapes. And I looked and we already have all this that we need. So it's really simple. Grape, tomato. We'll click this button 1,000,000 times. And there we go. And there you go. Right? Do we? I think we still have some left. Oh yeah, we still got a lot left. Okay. Sorry. What do we need? More grapes, probably? Because I have like 87 tomatoes. Yeah. All right, let's go get more grapes. Don't worry, this is not just going to be an alchemy stream. I'm just doing this because I need to for Restore Magicka. Like I said, I already have the flax for Restore Magicka. The other one that's good to get is the blue mushrooms. I have to look up where those are because I don't remember off the top of my head. We may seem weak because, you know, I died to that like wolf earlier, but that's just because we don't have, because I still have to do this. We don't have Magicka. If you watch the first stream at the beginning of that, when I was, you know, messing around with spells and stuff because of the way I built the character, I was like killing guys in like 1 or 2 hits. So once we have a consistent Magicka supply, it'd get a lot easier. Things will accelerate. Look at all these grapes. This is another thing I kind of I don't know if it would be good to fix, but that you can't just steal all their shit. I mean, it's not stealing. It doesn't say it's not stealing. Maybe it's more mutual aid, like with the Mages Guild. It also seems like they fixed that. I mean, I could have just been wrong, but in the original game there was that bug where you could go get the Emperor's clothes, and I was not able to do that. I could have just been doing it wrong. I'm not. You know, you can find some guys online who, you know, I mean, I played this game a lot, like with mods and stuff, but guys literally know, like, oh yeah, there's a barrel outside Skingrad. It's underneath this awning, and if you pick it up, there's this exact like amount of gold in it, and it's it's part of my starting strategy. I'm not saying those people are bad or anything. It's just funny. It's like that level of game knowledge. Oh, cure poison. Cool. It's because we level up our alchemy more. That's the other reason you want to level it up, because you'll find more restore magicka effects, making it a lot easier. So, okay, so flax. Let's try this, see if we have one. Flax filters. This is nice. I don't think this was in the original game. We can make one. Alright, let's sell all these potions. And we leveled up. See? This is so much...
Yes.
Yes, mag layer. It's so much easier than in the original game. You have to be careful about doing this, because if you level up too fast with the wrong skills, you won't get the attributes points that you want, the distribution that you want, and because you're higher level, all the enemies will scale with you. So you'll also, like, functionally what'll happen is you'll do what I'm doing right here, where you gain like 3 levels just spamming potions.
I take it you want something.
And then you walk outside, and there's a bandit with a Daedric sword who kills you in 1 hit. And you can't kill him because all your shit is in alchemy.
Can I interest you in some of my...
That's the other thing I forgot to do. I meant to download a mod to give all the merchants a bazillion gold.
An excellent bargain.
Yeah, so we're not getting that much at first, but that will only get better. And you can tell, look, see, the ones higher up on the list, see, 3 of these is 15.
You drive a hard bargain.
But, well, I guess you can just see it right here, the values. You can see they're going up. Because the calculation is based off of, obviously based off of the strength of its effect. So as you get better with alchemy, it gets stronger. Obviously, you can do this in Morrowind, too. It's a little more useful in Morrowind because you can make some really broken spells. Or not spells. Well, yeah, you can make broken spells, but really broken
I appreciate you.
potion effects. Because Oblivion added a limit to the amount of active effects that you can have on you at any time. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but it basically means if you drink 2 potions, they replace each other. In Morrowind, they did not do that. You can imagine why that would be broken.
Good evening.
There's really no bed here?
Greetings, apprentice.
Yes.
This is another, like,
This should be a maybe.
Elder Scrolls brain moment where you may think, well, you gotta go upstairs. That's where the beds are. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but I don't want to go through a loading screen. Like, I'd rather optimizing where the beds are places that make you go through the least amount of loading screens possible. Okay, what else do we want? Speed. Oh, we're already... Yeah. I was joking earlier when I said when we were going to get 3 levels at the same time, but maybe I was accidentally correct. No, 2. Okay. Okay, so next what we got to do is find more Restore Magicka effect, because I have enough flax to make like 15, which is probably all we need. You can see we're recharging now. I'm gonna look up where these blue mushrooms are. It's kind of where I expected. I suppose I could have kind of guessed that they would be down here by Lewin, considering it seems like a very mushroomy area. If I was a mushroom, I'd live down here. Part of the mushroom mine net. And I knew where they were before, and I still messed up finding them. But now that I double know where they are. The other thing is I might want to go to Frostcrag Spire so that I can get immediate access to custom spells, so I can make what was the one that Justin RPG has said Reshiram shoots, and that he like couldn't kiss her or she couldn't shoot it because he was kissing her or something ridiculous. I want to make a spell called that, and it'll just be like damage health 100 points. I mentioned that before, but I didn't explain myself what I meant when I said damage health. So there's 2 there's 2 spell effects. That's like one of the things in this game. So spell effects can be very misleading. And there's one spell effect where it attacks the attribute, not like their actual HP. And so, or no, well, there's that, but there's and if you do enough, it'll kill them instantly. The other way to keep spell cost down is you have it do like 100 HP in over 1 second. So it's not like it's like drain health 1 second, right? And the reason you do that is because it makes the spell really cheap. But if they have under the number that you have it drained, they just die instantly. It's just like touch of death shit. Okay, we're getting there. They're around here somewhere. We're looking for thin, orangish... Those. We're looking for those. Oh yeah, oh yeah. We got a bunch of them. Keeping an eye out. I'm glad these are all in like clusters like that. Makes it a lot easier. There's some ingredients in this game that are a pain in the ass to get. One that's really funny is that, so in Skyrim, one of the rarest crafting ingredients is Daedra Hearts. And I remember when I first played Skyrim, I was so annoyed because the game on release only had a limited amount in the entire game. And you needed them to... Okay, we got a guy here. Let's throw a zombie at him. And anyway, you needed them to craft like the highest level of armor. And my standard, when I'm playing like just myself and I'm not doing like a kind of a joke run like this, I usually play two-handed sword, heavy armor, like a knight. I like knights. And so if you want Daedric armor in Skyrim, you need Daedra Hearts. And I didn't realize that, and so I like wasted mine on something. I don't know. And I was basically screwed out of it. I don't think that's the way it works anymore. I think there's ways to find unlimited ones, but this is like on release. I didn't know. Couldn't just pull up the USP and be like, where is everything? But in this game, they're everywhere. Like, Daedra cards are really easy to get in this game because, you know, obviously you're going to Oblivion all the time. Also, I'm pretty sure you can farm them in this from summons, but you can't in Skyrim. You can do a lot of funny stuff with summons in this one. I showed you last game that, you know, you can, like, level up, like, 3 different skills at once with summons. More than that, actually, I think. But in Skyrim, I think you don't get XP. I could be wrong about that. But what I know you don't get is you don't get the Daedra Heart. So even if you get, like, Summon Dremora or whatever. Okay, here we go. How many can... Well, we'll see. Cool. Okay, that should be more than enough for now. Six, I guess. Alright, let's go get the Flame Atronach. And then we'll... This is all shit I should have done on the first one. Sorry. I could have easily gotten all of this done the last stream, but... I did like the Just an RPG music, though. It's kind of hard to beat that. So yeah, I was right. There is the guy here that sells it. I just missed him somehow. I think it's because in his schedule, he goes outside. He touches grass for a few hours, which I was not prepared for. Why did I go into the Fighters Guild? What? We're trapped. We're trapped. That's tough. Guess we're joining the Fighters Guild. Divine intervention. Talos has chosen us to join the Fighters Guild. Is Villia Dauntius even in here?
Hi there.
It's just the porter?
Good work. If you're interested, see Valet.
Yeah, I know that, buddy. That's who I'm looking for. I think downstairs? No, it's all locked. Yep. Okay. Well. Well met. Hopefully it opens.
How are you?
Not great, Bob.
You're not afraid of trouble, are you?
My help.
Farewell.
Okay, they're letting us out. The juice is loose, everybody.
Do you ever spend time?
Okay. Agathir. Agrathar. This guy is supposed to sell me spells. But he's not because he's reading. Okay. I'll wait for him to be done reading. This is why I missed him before. Stop reading.
What do you want? Have a look at my wares. I'm sure there's something to see.
Finally. We've got it. We got it, everybody. Alright, that's it for the stream. We got the Flame Atronach. Goodbye. No, not really.
Take care.
Hi. How are you today?
No, I wonder if I can even cast it. I should. No. Well, we're gonna have to... I'm kind of surprised. With the stat distribution I picked and the Atronach sign.
I'm listening.
Oh, of course it says I don't have enough because I didn't drink my potions. Oh, this place looks good. Hospitable. I wonder if there'll be an undead in here. I do find it interesting just how many forts there are that are. There's not a single in-use fort in this game other than the Blades one. What's it called? Clout Ruler Temple. Cloud Ruler, I guess. It's Clout Ruler in the song. All right, it's time. Oh, my skill level's too low. Really? Don't I have like 60? Oh, it's 40. All right. Well, still gonna have to wait a little longer for the Flame Atronach. You want to attack the enemy, buddy? Go get him. Damn, you suck. Did you just say more fiercer? Was that a mess up on the re-recorded VA line? Do I not have any... No, I don't. It's tough. I need to get some... Nice, just hit my own guy. I need to get some spells to heal my summons. Okay. Like no health. I mean, you can imagine how bad this would be if it was still the old leveling, right? Because, I mean, I basically am playing on that right now just because I haven't put any points into endurance, but that's why generally as a mage you want to play stay low level in the old version of the game, because if you're not putting stuff in endurance, which you're probably not because you're a mage, and so you're not leveling endurance-tied skills, by literally level 4, enemies will have, like, many times your health, which is really tough. Usually, the way you play a mage in the original game is you try to get as high as stats. You basically... Okay, so you put all your... You get your skills as high as possible at character creation, and you level them up, and you never level up. You level up the skills, but you don't, like, yourself ever level up. Because when you do level up, it's going to let you upgrade your, like, willpower and intelligence, right? Because you've skilled all intelligence-aligned skills, but it won't let you put it in endurance. And so you'll just... you'll have no health, basically. Just kind of where I'm at right now, but... Something you can fix. I think the other thing they changed is they made it so that strength gives health now. It doesn't in the original game. So, I don't know if we're going to be able to beat this. I'm pretty sure I can't drink 2 of these. I'm going to try, though. By can't, I mean, like, it doesn't benefit me. Yeah, the other problem is that these are vampires, so they're immune to disease. So, like, the one thing that the zombie can do that might be helpful, which is give them ataxia, it can't do. Okay. Oh, shit. Heal. Get him, zombie. Come on. Nice. Let's go. I do wonder... I don't know if vampires take the extra damage from fire that undead usually do in games. I just don't know if that's a thing in Oblivion. It's in like every other RPG. Just need gems. Ah, absorb magic tome. Didn't I pay money for that? It's great. Oh, Shadow Banished wine. Gotta get 6 of these. And you sell them to this lady.
Am I supposed to be impressed?
Not really. Now, if I had a flame astronaut, then yes, you should be impressed. I think maybe the reason why I was completely off base about the skill requirements for Flame Atronach is because I think it is the starting summon for Skyrim. By that I mean, like, I think Skyrim, it's literally like Skeleton and then Flame Atronach. Like, it's one of the starting ones. Whereas in this, it's Journeyman, which is, I think, skill 50. It makes sense, honestly. They're, you know, they're ranged, and they're pretty strong, so. Jesus Christ. You see that? I just spent like 10 on that. That's the other thing. Security is like a useless skill, because once you get to level 10, you can do a quest for Nocturne north of Breville that gives you a unbreakable lockpick. And so you just, the minute you get to level 10, you go get that, and then it's just like turning off lockpicking. Speaking of lockpicking, you know, the way these games are supposed, like, the design intent is that there's 3 primary playstyles: warrior, thief, and mage. And, you know, obviously you can kind of like combine things. It's not like super strict. But what it's supposed to do is make it so that each of those 3 archetypes has like something they have to maintain, their primary damage dealing, and like different ways of going about like basic dungeoneering experience. So what I mean is that, for example, like for maintenance, the warrior has to repair their equipment, which is why you have armor. The thief has to also repair equipment, although it's less necessary. The intent is that light armor like is less necessary to repair, so it's not like as big of a deal. If anything, what I would do is I would have make it so that tailoring and armory are 2 different skills. So the intent would be that the thief wears light armor, and so they have to get... Well, that was on me. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to do that again. Sorry. Anyway, what I was saying is, I would have it be tailoring and armorer. So the warrior has to level armorer and repair their equipment. The thief has to level tailoring and repair their light armor, which is like clothes, which is why I say tailor. And then the mage has to basically deal with spell ingredients. This game doesn't have that like D&D does, but it does have, you know, Magicka, obviously. It's kind of like a simple version of that. And the other thing is like opening locks. Elder Scrolls has moved more and more in the direction of just everybody has to lockpick, which is not the way I would do it. I would, and you can tell that this was also on their mind when they were designing like Daggerfall and stuff, because they're the spells that open locks. I don't think they were removed in Skyrim, but I wouldn't be surprised considering how much they took out. And so the idea behind that was, you know, each of the archetypes has to open locks a different way. The thief lockpicks, obviously. The mage uses spells. And the warrior, and this is where it kind of lost the plot a little bit. In D&D, the way warriors open locks is they fucking hit them. You just bash them open, right? And I think Neverwinter Nights has bash open containers, and some games have tried to make it so that you can bash open containers, but you break what's inside. What I would do is you don't break what's inside. It's just that higher tier locks require you to be stronger. So you still have progression scaling for all 3 archetypes. Whether you bash them open, you open locks, or you cast a spell, because you need like more and more powerful spells to open it. You need a better security skill for lockpicks to open master locks, and for bash you need to be, we'll say the master lock is just like a really tough lock, right? And you have to bash it. It's not the direction these games have gone, partially because you can tell that Bethesda is a big fan of streamlining. And there's some value in that, there's simplicity, like divine, absolute divine simplicity. You want things to be simple, but also like deep or whatever. But I kind of think the system I just presented is pretty freaking simple and streamlined already. But it at least allows for like differences between the classes. And it got to the point where it's like in this game, everybody lockpicks, but you still have to spell, so there's at least sort of a choice. And the lockpicking minigame everybody hates, so they just added a way for you to turn it off. So then it's just like, well, then why have it, I prefer Oblivion or Morrowind's lockpicking because it's just a skill check. And there's like different types there's like trap lockpicks and regular lockpicks. I think that's good too.
I'm just warming up, you pathetic worm.
But yeah, I generally think that would be like a better direction for the design is you base the game around the 3 major playstyle archetypes and make sure each one does some core thing in the game in its unique way, whether it's opening locks, combat. Obviously, combat's the easiest one. This one they already do. But it should extend to other stuff, too. If I was designing a Elder Scrolls, but good. I mean, these games aren't bad, but you know what I mean. Like, wishing Bethesda learned something over the last, 20 years. That kind of, or at least learned the things that I like. And my theory is that the reason why they have this focus on streamlining is because, when Bethesda was making super autistic, detail-oriented, hard RPG type games like Daggerfall, where schedules matter and there's all these derived stats and all that shit, was when they were small. I mean, they almost went bankrupt before Morrowind. And so I think they kind of associate that thinking with that period in the company's history. And then they associate being this giant company that Microsoft was willing to pay billions of dollars for with, Skyrim and Oblivion, essentially. Moving to consoles as a primary market and streamlining the experience. So I think that's why they follow that so strictly. But I think you can kind of have your cake and eat it too. I think you could kind of go back to these games being more actual RPGs and also let people play it. I mean, everybody brings up Baldur's Gate 3. But even before Baldur's Gate 3, there were examples of, quote, real RPGs that had mass appeal. But then again, there's examples of them bombing too. I mean, Pillars of Eternity is a good example of that. It was Oblivion going back, making a isometric RPG again, and it did not sell very well. Now, my problem with Pillars of Eternity, because, I mean, you couldn't tell I really like RPGs, and I played most of them. I played, a lot of them. I don't want to say I played them all, because there's probably there's a lot of them. But I played most of them, so I can kind of compare a lot of them. And my problem with Pillars of Eternity is the setting. I don't think it's, inherently bad. It's like the perfect combination of generic fantasy and college English 101 type writing values. Because like the edge, quote unquote, to the game setting, and this is spoilers for Pillars of Eternity. The setting, the edge to the setting is it's generic fantasy, but the gods aren't real. Because generally in generic fantasy, the gods are real, even if they're just like powerful entities. They're gods, and it's usually some pantheon or whatever. But in Pillars of Eternity, they're just not. And it's not even like an Oblivion or a Morrowind thing where there are real gods and not real gods, like with the Tribunal. It's basically just like this big conspiracy where a bunch of guys got together and made a conspiracy that they're gods and named them after themselves. And they're really just kind of like sort of powerful entities. And I don't know, I just don't find that concept interesting. It feels like... it introduces a lot of philosophical problems with the way characters act. And, the definition of divinity. Like, it basically means there's no concept of sacredness. So, like, even in this game, I made a joke last time I played, summoning the zombie in the temple, right? No one cared. That's like a gameplay problem. That's not like a setting issue. Because Oblivion does have a concept of sacred. And it's, that's why there's these way shrines. There's, like, pilgrimages, and there's, like, the temple does services and stuff like that. And there's, like, a concept of defilement, like, if you consort with Daedra, it's, like, defilement. And there's, like, corruption. Like, there's a inherent moral, like, view on corruption. But in a setting like Pillars of Eternity, you don't have that. Really at all. Like, even the people who do believe, like, the gods are real, like, it's just not present. And the reason is because the only things that exist, as far as the religion, are the things that the conspirators who invented it say exist. And because they know they're not gods, they don't like, add a concept of sacredness. Because an essential aspect of sacredness is like, separation. It's like what holy means separated. And if you're just a really powerful entity, you're not holy. You're not different. You're not a fundamentally different category of being. But a god is. That's why you call him, like, a true god. That's why you call it God. But if your religion is just a bunch of conspirators who are doing some, like, social manipulation to give them power, well then, there is no actual, there's a separate category. It's just a DBZ power scaling list. I guess that's a very long-winded reason to explain why I don't like the Pillars of Eternity setting. It's not, like, personal. I like Oblivion. I like... Chris Avellone, I think, is not as mature of a writer as people say. But that's just because video game writing in general is not very mature. You're not reading Dante's Inferno. But in the realm of video game writing, it's pretty good. I mean, New Vegas, people talk about that game all the time. I think its fans have kind of retroactively discredit it, because the fan community around New Vegas is kind of fucked. I could just summon my guy and grind levels, but I figure that's less entertaining than just actually going out to random dungeons. This is actually the way I like to play Skyrim, is literally just wandering around and going places and clearing out the dungeons. And that was kind of relates to what I was talking about last time when I said that one problem with this game is that the dungeon design is extremely repetitive, and it's just not good for running through dungeons. And so it makes playing that way a bit harder. Or at least not as fun. Daggerfall is really good for that, though, because there's just so many of them. It gets a little tedious just because of how complicated some of the dungeons are, but you can keep at least half of your brain on while you're playing. There's basically like an unlimited amount of dungeons to run through. Sneed Root. I will say about Pillars of Eternity, the concept of and everyone says this, but the concept of the chanter is really interesting. Reminds you of like divine liturgy, like in the Orthodox Church or Catholic Church. That like the idea that you get like a choral arrangement, and if you sing in the right, you know, tempo and cadence, it like replicates some kind of like divine beauty. Because in Pillars of Eternity, the chanter basically chants, obviously, and it creates magic. And the tempo about which you sing in like different parts of the song will do different things. So it's not as easy as just singing a magic phrase and then you shoot fire, right? It's like you have to sing the whole song, and in different parts of the song, different things happen because it's that part of the song. And it's really cool. It's a shame it wasn't in Avowed. I haven't played Avowed, but I know it's not in there, which kind of one of the reasons I wasn't really that interested in Avowed is because it kind of just looks like an Elder Scrolls game, but without a lot of the emergent and open world stuff that Elder Scrolls, because it's like more linear, which is fine. I'm fine with linear games, but then it's like, okay, if it's going to be linear, then it should be like a really advanced, it should have a good RPG system, but it seems to just kind of be like Skyrim perk slot. Oh, you think you're a conjurer? I'll show you. Oh, shit. And then, yeah, it doesn't have the chanter, which, like I said, I think is the most interesting part of the Pillars of Eternity universe. Shame. Maybe it's good. I don't know. Might play it. Maybe when it goes on sale. It is weird that there aren't more competitors to this style of game. I don't mean like RPGs, obviously. There's tons of RPGs, but it's kind of like first-person, semi-immersive, but also an RPG. I know there's one that people talk about that's based off a board game. It's like Dark Fantasy King Arthur or something. I think it's an early... Oh, shit. This guy really wishes he wasn't a conjurer, he was an evoker. He could just shot me in the ass with a spell, and I would have been doomed. This guy is tough. Tougher than I expected. Get him. Oh, there's a Legion guard. I wonder if he's just gonna watch. Come on, zombie, come on! I ran him right past you, get him. There we go. Give him ataxia. Nice. Good job, zombie. You hit him exactly one more times than I expected you to. I guess we should, like, wear clothes? Or should I just stay looking like a prisoner forever? At a certain point I was going to go around as the Emperor, so... I can't believe I paid 200 gold for this spell, for the zombie spell. I don't know what I was thinking. My gamer IQ, like, dropped by 30 points last stream. I don't know why. Pwned. Oh my gosh. How many was that? 10? I thought about setting a challenge I would have to do the lockpick minigame. And I like, just forced myself to do it. Problem is, it's one of those things that'd be, like, funny once, and then really tedious and annoying all the other times. It'll be way easier to level Conjuration once I have the Flame Atronach, because it's ranged. It's the biggest problem with the zombie is he's slow, and he attacks slow, and he's melee. So you, like, summon him, and then the monster walks 3 feet away, and you don't get shit. Get him. See what I mean? That's exactly what I mean. Come on, dude. Nice. Oh, he's going off. Wait a minute, did that give me spell chance failure? Yeah, it did. Or not spell chance failure, that's not how this game does it. It's spell effectiveness. It's another thing that they removed. Skyrim, you can run around in heavy armor and do spells. I don't know, I kind of like being able to just do whatever, but like... It's like, then what's the point of like light armor, right? Because the way the general logic is, if you're doing magic, you're doing a lot of damage, right? But you don't want to have also good protection that doesn't come from what you're practicing, which is magic. Because like, why wouldn't you ever not wear heavy armor? Like, actually, like in a game like this, if there's no spell chance failure, it's just more protective, and that's the purpose of armor. The only thing I could think of is if you add like a concept of, like in D&D, like armor affecting certain skill checks. But I still think you could do that. You just make it so that bows can't wear certain heavy armor. You could abstract it more than that, have it be like a stat thing. I guess that would fit into the whole like triple archetype or different thing I was talking about. You know, if you're using knives, dexterity type weapons, or a bow, because you're a thief, then heavy armor makes you less effective because you can't move right. And obviously heavy armor would give you spell chance failure as a mage. Morrowind armor had no, I'm pretty sure it does. I'll look that up, but I'm pretty sure it does. And the reason why is because in Morrowind you can fail to cast spells if you do not have the right skill. Could be wrong, but I'm not wrong about that. You can fail spells, but I might be wrong about the armor thing. Let's look. Okay, I think you might be right. The one thing, though, that Morrowind does have that kind of fits more into this concept of having three-class structure is it has an unarmored skill. So, like, wearing clothes, you can get skill in wearing clothes to make it more effective. So you have an option as a mage. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right. I guess the way they represent that in that game is just by the spell chance, or by the, you know, like you can fail the skill check to cast a spell. That would be kind of one interesting way to indirectly implement that, though, is you have heavy armor increase, like in a scaling way, increase the chance of spell chance failure. I like that better than... You see, in this game, they wanted to remove any chance of not hitting, because people always would complain about, you know, in Morrowind you run out with the dagger, you don't have short blade, and so then you can't kill the rat, right? That's like... Or not the rat, the larva. It's like the oldest story everybody's told. Yeah, I mean, light armor being better than... That runs into the problem of... what I was saying earlier, whereas like if there's no limitation on heavy armor for spells or like using bows or anything, why wouldn't you just always wear heavy armor, right? Because it has more protection. Although there are some weird cases in like this game in Morrowind where you can find light armor that has like really OP effects that ends up making it better, but that's just like a balancing thing. Last time I played Morrowind I did unarmored, because I was playing mage. And it doesn't make that big of a difference, honestly. By that I mean like it's not like you're ever gonna like replicate the effects of heavy armor because you have a high enough skill in unarmored. So then, you know, like you say, it's like, well, why wouldn't you just wear light then, right? One thing that Oblivion does, you talk about wearing both, is all the slots for equipment is great. Well, another great map. I really should be... I really need to level up Conjuration. Oh, there we go. What the hell was that? Did you see that? Just leveled up like 3 skills at once from doing the spell. Did it get like... Did it get like constipated? Skill constipation? I didn't go down this way. Or did I? No, I must not have. Gotta find a bed. Get him, zombie. I like how I set a hotkey for these potions and I never use it. I just go into the inventory. I was really hoping they would change that in this remaster. The UI for the inventory. I mean, they did change it. I just mean more extensively. Honestly, everything should just use the Morrowind UI, for real. Or like some, you know, iteration on Sky UI. The one mod I'm really looking forward to for this game to get ported over is Mascar's Oblivion Overhaul. It's a really good mod. I don't know how long that's going to take because I know there's not modding tools, and as an overhaul mod, it adds enemies and stuff. So it requires more than just like an ESP folder or file. I also don't know if Mascar even still mods or like works on it. I'm pretty sure the like last update for that mod was a couple years ago. Damn. You got moves, dude. Zombie's always there when I need him. Get him. I'm gonna drown. Never mind. Not today. Damn, I really wish these imps and rats would have a bed. Where do they sleep? Whoa! Check this out! Check this guy out! Let's go! I don't remember this guy. That's it? Damn. Another 20 lockpicks down the drain. And I'm over recovered. Alright, let's take a look here. What are we dropping? Probably this. I think we got a good robe too. Damn. This guy was a lot weaker than he looked. That's tough. Now that I know that this guy is in the game, someone should make a mod that lets you summon him. Because you wouldn't have to add any assets. You just, you know, just make him a summon. That would be a fun idea for a playthrough. Is you, it's like this with the Flame Atronachs, but instead it's that giant crab. Imagine you get that giant crab that like take down Mankar Cameron and Mana Marco and everything. You summon him in the final battle where Akatosh and Mehrunes Dagon are fighting. He's just there, just trying to claw Mehrunes Dagon's leg. All of Oblivion united against evil, including representative of the mud crabs. Is there... I know in Skyrim, isn't it, that you have to get a perk to be able to have 2 summons up at a time? What is the cap in this one? One? Really? Let me see. I'm surprised I don't know this. I like playing summoners. Okay. Maybe I should be using the skeleton instead, honestly. He's probably faster. Where am I? I almost just looked at the map again. The amazing map. Isn't this where I came from? No. Well, now I know why this dungeon is so big. Because it has the crab. Oh, the crab is gone. And I went back the same way I came. Oh, it's clear that this was supposed to be a shortcut. Or wait, no, I didn't come back the way I came. It's just a reused tile set. Right, okay. This is kind of what I was complaining about last time I played, where I said, like, these games aren't like back of the cereal box tier mazes that Daggerfall are, but they're just annoying enough. They're like just mazy enough to be really annoying, and everything looks exactly the same. And then you think, okay, well, you know, I'll just look at the map, right? Oh, this one has a map. Cool. Very cool. Okay. Well, my entire point just got completely BTFO right there. But there was the one area of this map where the map was not, just not a map. Play the map song. No, I'm an Eagle Scout, and I did the Orienteering Merit Badge, and I would go backpacking all the time. I was always the guy who, you know, used the map. I would orient for the group, and then I play a game like this, and I just walk down the same corridors 4 times to get lost, so I don't know.